Guys and gals, before we start this video, I just want to let you know there is a new Juice Box shirt in the Juice from the Box store. Link in the description if you want to get your hands on this awesome new design. It's my favorite. Roll the intro. What's going on, guys? So this is my Doctor Who review, and I just gotta say, I did not know the finale was next week already. I thought we had like 3, maybe 4 more episodes, but no, the freaking finale is next week, and this blows my mind because we are nearing the final episodes, because it will include the Christmas episode, but we are freaking nearing the final episodes of Capaldi's run, Stephen Moffat's run as showrunner, and more than likely Michelle Gomez, I always say it differently, I believe that's her name, who plays Missy, the actress that plays Missy, more than likely her final run on this show. And that's the one thing that's always kind of like heartbreaking about Doctor Who, since we know the Doctor always regenerates. You always get this like every 3 to 4 years. You're like, no, I don't want to miss them, no. But this one's really big because it's the first time in what, like a decade, more than a decade, that the showrunner is going to be changing. Because I think, what, Moffat became showrunner during Tennant's run? I'm not too sure. But, so he's went through 3 doctors. So we are losing the showrunner, and I know everybody has their opinions about Stephen Moffat. I personally enjoy the guy. He's made some characters that I love, and I do think he'll probably still write an episode every once in a while, but he won't be running the show. And it's always good to have fresh, fresh ideas come in to a show that, especially that's been around as long as Doctor Who, but it's just always sad to see people go. And we even saw it at the start of this episode. We saw Capaldi's regeneration starting. Like, he's in the snow, which is very Christmas episode, and he's coming out of the TARDIS, and he's just like, no! And he's like got longer hair. I think he has a different kind of suit on. Maybe this is the first suit that he was in, but he's regenerating, and that could be the scene where we are going to get whoever the next Doctor is, which surprisingly has not been confirmed yet. I'm actually really surprised that news hasn't got on the internet, or somebody hasn't let that spill out. Maybe they do want to keep it a secret until the Christmas episode, which I think would be pretty awesome. But I feel like before we get to the Christmas episode, before we see Capaldi regenerate into whoever's going to be the next Doctor, I feel like that's going to go ahead and actually be leaked out somewhere, because, that person's probably going to need to be on shows for interviews and stuff like that. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. But let's go ahead and talk about the rest of this episode. I don't know about you guys, but I loved the feel of this episode. I love creepy hospitals are always, well, creepy hospitals. But I just loved how this one was set up. We had the whole time element of this ship that was, what, 400 miles long, or like hundreds of miles long, was like inside a black hole, but still outside of a black hole. And apparently the freaking lower part of the ship was Superman gravity, so everything ran so much faster there, and the people on the top of the ship actually ran at a very slow pace. So, and we've seen this. That was actually what was happening on the last episode as well, if I'm not mistaken, where you go into that little cave and time speeds up. So that's something that's been happening a lot this season, or at least it's happened a few different amount of times this season. Am I right? I want to say there was another episode that involved speeding up time like that. I could be mistaken. Anyways, back to the creepy hospital. Was I the only one that felt very Silent Hill during this? I don't know if you guys have ever played the Silent Hill video game, but that is exactly how I felt with these, we found out later they were going to be, new Cybermen, but, freaking the way that they were just walking with their things, like, I was like, whoa, they had the things over their heads. I was like, this is freaking Silent Hill. Like, some fucking monsters are gonna come out and be like, and it's gonna be all crazy and shit. And it was even in a broken city. Like, when she was looking outside the window, the city was all ghosting and like foggy and stuff. It was like, I'm serious, like, whoever wrote this, I gotta find out, probably played Silent Hill as a child. Before we got to the whole Silent Hill crazy hospital, we had the start of the episode with Missy coming out and being the Doctor, and I absolutely love her, and I can't believe this might be her last freaking Doctor Who series, because she has come out and said, like many actors do that work with, a certain doctor, like, John Barrowman said that he hasn't come back to the show because David Tennant was his doctor, and he doesn't know if he wants to work with another doctor. It's kind of the same thing with, Missy here. She's saying that, Peter Capaldi is her doctor, and she doesn't know if she'll come back. But she also did say that maybe like in a year or two she might actually want to come back. So I don't really know. But still, I'm going to assume that this is going to be her last few episodes in Doctor Who. And I just loved that. I love her sassiness. And I think that's what I think that's why I love her so much. Because she's just so sassy in everything she does. And in this particular episode, she didn't break the fourth wall, but she kind of broke the fourth wall. Like, maybe she didn't do it Deadpool style, you know, where he's talking to the camera exactly, but she did point out that they were basically in a TV show, and I freaking love that, because, you know, Bill was like, what are you doing? Why are you calling yourself Doctor Who? That's not his name. And she's all like, it is his name. You know, somebody, he says he's the doctor, they say Doctor Who. She's like, I'm just speeding stuff up. She was like, your exposition, he's freaking comic relief. Like, she was pointing out the whole damn TV show. And I thought that was freaking awesome and very fourth wall breaking. Moving on from there, we saw one of the members of the Blue Man group show up and blast freaking Bill in the chest, which was insane. I was not expecting that. That was crazy because, you know, the doctor was giving his whole speech. He was like, look, I've been around, you know, I'm gonna, in a little bit, you're gonna trust me with your life, and I'm just gonna say a few words. Like, he was just doing that very doctor speech, and the person was like, now boom! And freaking killed Bill, which was just so insane. I wasn't thinking about her getting shot, and she just had this freaking hole in her stomach, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting that, so that was kind of shocking. And then, of course, you know, she gets taken down to the hospital, and we find out that time just moves so much faster down there, and it's years upon years. The doctor actually, you know, gave her a subliminal message to wait, and she does that and actually ends up costing her life, or I should say, actually costing her human life, because now she's a freaking Cyberman. Of course, we didn't find that out till late in the episode, but prior to finding out that she was going to be a Cyberman and everybody else was going to be a Cyberman too, was my favorite part of the episode was the moment that the freaking Doctor and Missy both had, like, their sonic screwdrivers, because I guess Missy's is freaking the umbrella. But I love how that guy was pointing a gun at the doctor had his freaking sonic screwdriver to her, and Missy had the gun to the guy. Like, I thought that was all awesome, and then they were going to open the door, and they were saying, like, things together. It kind of seemed like they were doing, like, a little chant together, kind of like, I don't know, you ever watch Pirates of the Caribbean and how they have, like, the pirates code, and they say it back to forth, you know what I mean? Like that, I just felt like it was one of those moments, but Missy was just kind of just going with it, but saying stupid stuff like, you're an idiot, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I thought that was kind of cool, and I was like, I just want to see a Missy Doctor adventure, and it sucks because we only got 2 episodes left, including the freaking Christmas episode, and we're not going to get that. We're not going to get just the Doctor and Missy traveling the stars. Actually, that would be kind of cool if that's the Christmas episode. Like, they're just traveling the stars like they said they were going to find, like they were going to do, because that's why the Doctor saying that he wants to redeem Missy, because that was his only friend. Like, his friend growing up, they were really cool with each other, and they were supposed to go to every star, but at some point, the Master just decided to burn all of them instead of, like, checking out everything that there was possible. So the Doctor wants a companion that he knows is gonna be there just as long as he is, and, like, that's what he's missing, and he's hoping to redeem Missy. And I think it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens in this finale. But speeding up everything, we see the Doctor, Missy, and Nardole all go down to the level where Bill should be. And, you know, Bill and Nardole go, and they're like, all right, let's go find out where she's at, blah, 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 blah. They find out that she's already trying to be converted into a Cyberman, and then Missy is talking to the creepy old dude that was helping out Bill that ends up betraying Bill this whole time. And it's actually the fucking Master. And I was like, oh, what? That was crazy. Because I had a feeling eventually the Master was going to have to do something with Missy. Like, something was going to go on there. And we found out the Master was doing this whole plan. Like, you know, of course, everything was going faster for him. But this whole thing was going on. And he was worried about his future. So he wants Missy to betray the Doctor. And the Master just doesn't want to work with the Doctor at all. So he doesn't like the future that's happening right now. I'm very curious to see what is going to happen. Is Missy going to join up with the Master right now and then betray him because she wants to be good? Or is she just going to be typical the Master and always do what she, you know, the Doctor expects her to do, and that is be evil? I'm really curious to see what's going to happen there, but I have a feeling that Missy is actually going to betray the Master because she does genuinely want to change. But, you know, if she regenerates, and she regenerates into somebody else, maybe that person's gonna be evil too. Another thing that does spark my curiosity is, how did the Master come back from wherever he was? I'm gonna need the hardcore Whovians to refresh my memory here. Was the last time we saw the Master when he jumped into like the time vortex or whatever with all of the other Time Lords because they were coming through and he ended it? That was the final time we saw the Master, right? It wasn't the time that he died in the Doctor's arms, if I'm not mistaken, because I know those were the 2 times I remember seeing the Master. I know he died in Tennant's arms, and then there was another time when he jumps in to the freaking vortex or whatever and like saves everybody from the Time Lords coming out. I want to say that was the last time we saw the Master, and if that was the last time we saw the Master, I'm very curious to see how he got out of that. Do refresh my memory if you do remember all of that. I'm blanking right now. But I don't know. I want to hear your guys on your thoughts on this episode. I really enjoyed it. I love the whole Silent Hill vibe. I'm just interested to see, of course, how the Doctor is going to save Bill. What if they just had a companion for 1 season? They've done it before, but like I believe Martha was only there for 1 season. But I am interested to see if they would actually only keep Bill around for 1 season, and then with the new person, the new Doctor that's going to come up, have them get their own companion, or is Bill going to cross over like every other companion has been recently? I'm really curious to see what's going to happen there. Like I said, I was not expecting the finale to be so quick, but next week we're going to start seeing the Doctor regenerate, possibly. It seems like I said, the Christmas episode is where he's supposed to regenerate, so I would think somehow he's not going to regenerate on the finale, but the previews kind of showed like it did seem like he was going to start. So I'm really interested to see what they're going to do here. Finale's next week, and I can't wait for it. Anyways, guys, if you ever want to support this channel, don't forget you can check out the Patreon like these awesome people did, or you can do the OG thing and give this video a like and share it with all of your Doctor Who buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I am your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I had my daily dose of juice? See you guys next time. Bam!